accomplishments. Even the good work you have begun in me, you also see my finish.
This time we have a wonderful speaker.
Yes, we do.
I had met her maybe a few years back, but I've come to know and love her. And she is just so sweet, and I just love her message, and I just love her. So I'd like to say, introduce to y'all, Reverend Sister Maria Chadmon at this time. Sister Chadmon.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
I tell you, I could have heard that choir some more.
Yes.
When you get to talking about Jesus,
Look out for you.
there's something about that thing. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And you know, I thank the Lord for being able to be here today, and I feel so honored because I have two wonderful people that I know. You know, I can't honor Brother McLendon, y'all pastor, unless I honor his wife. Because let me tell you, if it wasn't for her, he would be the man who he is. And you know her because you know that she's humble. She's a woman of God. But I'm telling you, there's a lot in her, and if you talk to her long enough, you will know the God in her. And I thank God for. I remember when the children were born. And I mean, I talk about that too much. You might know my age. But I'm telling you, this is a wonderful family. And I thank God for you both. But Brother Jay, Sister Sherell, I don't know how you put up with it. But that is my brother. And you know, I know you all know about him telling y'all all this time how we went to school together and how he was my, you know, how we ran from the same book, and we did. But I still say to this day, if we was really all that much a friend, he should have fought that guy and gave me a heads up, because I had to run the farthest. But no, he gonna run hard. And he lived closer to the school than I did. I had a long way to go. I always told him that. I said, you was really my friend. You would have actually fought this dude. At least till I got past y'all, you know, so I can run, you know. So, but I tell you, I always said that about him. But on a serious note, I know him. You know, y'all know him as the pastor. I know him before he got saved. Well, we had elementary school. Was in elementary school together. And then we lived up the street together for years until we all got grown and we all moved out. But, you know, I know him because it was time to leave the nest. We don't always understand when it's time to leave the nest. So when it was time to leave the nest, he was hitting hard. He was he was falling and hitting things hard. But I'm going to tell you what he did. He always got back up. And then when he got back up, he learned in the fall that there was wind beneath his wings. All he had to do was spread his wings, and he could fly. And you know what? When that happened, I began to see how he even more began to flourish. You see, people don't understand when you go through struggles and when you go through trials and all this heartache and heartbreak and all this heavy stuff, because God is preparing you for such a time as this. And so my brother is here today. Fifth pastor anniversary. And I thank God for it.
Amen.
Because over the years I watched him serve. And I watched them both serve. And you know, they stay right beside each other. You know, nowadays you got husbands gonna go off and do all of this, and the wife is left at home. This, not this one. I'm telling you, God has put something in them. And I think what happens so often is when one is called and they're married, they don't think the other one is called. But let me tell you, one may be called to carry the word. The other one is called to carry them.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got to understand that when you're called to carry one another, you know, she covers him in prayer. She got her eyes on him and seeing the things that are around him, because when you're preparing yourself for the work, because they cover one another. And I love that about you. Because you understand that when one called, the other one is called. You called the carrier. And you have carried in this walk. And I thank the Lord for it. So yes, I have to honor both of them on this day. Because you know, he didn't just come out by himself. Y'all know that, right? Them children didn't just pop up. They here. But I thank the Lord because he had given me a message to share with you all. And I thought about you, Brother James, and when the Lord gave me this, and it was serve with excellence. He has given me the title to serve with excellence. One of the greatest positions you can ever have in your life is that of a servant. If you ever learn to serve others well, you can lead. Because the key to being a great leader is your willingness to serve others. Now, we can talk about, your ability, but all of us got ability to serve. But everybody won't serve. But the key to being a leader, great leader, is your willingness to serve. I heard Bishop Davis say this yesterday, and I thought I better put this quote in there, because he quoted someone who said, if you are leading and you turn around and no one is following you, then you've just taken a stroll alone. So that tells me something, that somebody didn't learn how to be a servant. Because you can't do this by yourself. And if you would turn with me to Matthew, I want to give you some scriptures, because there are some areas that I may not hit verbatim, but I will summarize. So Matthew 20, chapter 20, verses 18 through 23 and 25 through 28 of the same chapter. Also 1 Samuel 19 and 2 Chronicles chapters 1 through chapter 7. Now, before I actually read the verse of scripture that I want to share with you, I want to talk to you about Jesus for a moment. You see, Jesus had been teaching his disciples when a woman approached him. And when that woman approached him, she approached him about her two sons. And these were the sons of Zebedee. That's James and John. And she asked him a question: can my son sit on your right hand and on your left? And he asked them, can they drink of the cup that I'm going to drink? Can they be baptized, So he said, to be baptized with the baptism that I'm to be baptized with. And they say, yes, we are able. You see, they don't know what they was just asking. A lot of times you got folks ready to jump in positions and don't even know what they've been asked. I had a chance to share with Sister Aretha earlier, and she was telling me about today was her mom, would have been her mom's birthday, and I told her, I said, I think about your mom often. Because when she was in the hospital, and I was by her bedside, and she said, Sister Chadmon, I need you to carry this on. And what it was is, it was the prayer moderator, being the prayer coordinator. And she said, I need you to promise me. And I knew I wouldn't say nothing. I would say, pray for me, That was to keep from saying, no, I'm going to do it. And so when I remember telling her, because I knew what comes with that. Because what comes with that, it's not you just going up there any kind of way and you just praying for folks. It's not like that. No, you are carrying the weight of what is going on in their lives. You are getting down to business with God, and you're interceding on people's behalf, and what comes with that. So sometimes you're going to find yourself taking it from this end and taking it from that end, but you're going to be standing there praying for somebody. So I want to say that. So when she went on to transition to be in heaven, I said, this is going to be between me, her, and the Lord. And then few months after that, my pastor said, Sister Chadmon, I've been needing to talk to you about something. I want you to take this thing on and run with it like Sister Ford did, and I want you to be the prayer coordinator. I was like, what? I thought I had gotten away. And I told her, I said, bet your mama was up there laughing at me because I didn't want to do that. Because I know what comes with it. But when you're going to be a servant and you're going to serve with excellence, you got to be willing. So, I did it because I was asked. But after a while, something about that name Jesus just make you want to do things that you ain't never thought you would do. And you begin to pray for people you never thought you would pray for. You'll be standing in the gap for those that done treated you wrong and all of that. But when you serve with excellence, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's worth it. It's worth it. So when after Jesus had told them that they will indeed drink of his cup and they will be baptized of what he been baptized with it. The other disciples, they was upset. The other 10, they were like, how dare he do that? They couldn't believe that somebody would even go to Jesus and ask to be sitting beside him. But folk will do that. So how many know that if you let those around you talk to you long enough, you discover what's in them. We got to know those who we labor among. And Bishop, excuse me, Pastor, you got to know. Who labors among you.
Come on now.
Because it ain't everybody that labor among you don't mean you no good. Watch the first one that come. Watch the first one that bring all the money. Pastor, I'm doing it because the Lord say so. Watch them. They be the main one. What they doing in the name of the Lord. I got to tell you because
Glory, hallelujah.
the Lord showed me in his word. Hey, it happened to Jesus. So it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. Now, let me get to where I needed to go. But Jesus called them unto him and he said, after all this has happened, Jesus called the disciples unto him and he said, you know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them. And they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. Turn to your neighbor. Tell them it shall not be so.
It shall not be so
among you.
among you.
I want you to see what has happened here. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. Now, you see the two scenarios here. You got one group, they see authority. They see rule over. They see control.
Yes.
But then you see what Christ said, but not so among you. We're not to rule one another. We're not to have control over one another. That's not what he said. But if there's going to be anybody that's going to be great among you, let them be the servant. See, the world got it all backwards. And I went and looked it up. And I'm going to tell you, when I was on the internet, I was like, how can these two, this word servant, have such variations in definition? And it said a servant means a slave. A person in bondage who is made to serve. Now in this form, servant is degrading. It's demeaning. But in the same form, in the same definition, under it says, servant also means one in a state of subjection. Now, if you're not careful, when you look at it, you'll think that also means a person that's in slavery. But no, what that means is one who positions him or herself to serve others. It also means one who is distinguished as obedient to God or Christ. So what is happening is the word servant, if you're not careful when you look at it, you'll look at it as bondage, but when you see through how the world look at servant, what you will see is you have control here. You have put yourself, positioned yourself right in the middle of servant.
That's right.
Meaning I choose to take it. I choose to do this. Because I already know it's going to be for my good. But see, I want you to understand, servant has nothing to do with you. Nothing at all. See, we have men and women throughout the Bible that have positioned themselves to serve others while being obedient and faithful to God. Now, I know all of this sounds good, but be aware. To serve with excellence, you're going to have to be gentle as a lamb, loving and caring, and have a tough hide all at the same time. Because sometimes those you serve are the ones that have more venom than the most deadliest snake. Do y'all know that? Sometimes the one that God calls you to serve, He calls you to teach, He calls you to love on, are the same one that is trying to kill you all at the same time. So what do? We keep on loving. I want you to see how in 1 Samuel chapter 19, you see, all of that the Lord was giving me, He had His word to back it up.
Look out.
Because He wanted us to understand that this stuff don't just happen. This didn't just happen. This don't just happen. So, my brother, when things get to happening, take it like a good soldier. Because it happened all in the Word. You remember after David had killed Goliath and how King Saul wanted to know who he was and have him to come into his house? Saul called David to come into his house and to serve him. So, he saw what David was capable of. David did exactly what he was capable of. So he came into his house and Saul appointed him over his military and every time he'll send Saul out, Saul come back and he'll do exactly what he needed to do. He'll kill this one, he'll hurt this one, and he'll come back victorious every time. And then when a bad spirit came upon Saul, David would come and he'll soothe him with a harp. And he'll play, he did it all in serving unto God. And then here comes Saul, the same one who called him to come in his house, to leave his house, to do the work. The same one threw a javelin at him. Same one trying to kill him. He didn't do it once. He didn't even do it. He didn't do it just once. He kept on doing it. And then and David wanted to know, what did I do wrong? He served with excellence. And see, when you serve with excellence, it's going to get people's attention. And see, when he served like he did, what ended up happening was when he came back off the battlefield, the women came out and they got to singing. And they got to singing about Saul killed thousands, but David killed 10,000. He felt threatened. Y'all hear what I'm saying? People will be threatened by your service. Not your position, your service. Now, it ain't got nothing to do with all these folks in here. Everybody in here ain't a pastor. Ain't but one pastor in here. But when you serve with excellence, it's going to get God's attention and God will illuminate you in the midst of the people. And when He illuminates you in the midst of the people, folks take notice. Be aware. Folks gonna get jealous. Folks gonna talk about you. They gonna make stuff look like it ain't really what it is. At least that's what they gonna say. But let me tell you what happens when that happens. He'll illuminate you even more. So all I'm gonna tell you, my sisters and brothers, shine, baby, shine. Because the enemy don't like that. He don't like that. So, and Saul never sought the attention of the people. All Saul did was do the work. So he just served Why? And I'm going to tell you, see, the enemy want to stop you. That's what happened.
Yes.
He said, why did your father want to kill me? He said, my father don't want to kill you because if he did, I would know it. But you know, he went to his father. You know, his father there like he wanted to kill him, so he brought him back into the house. And y'all know, he done put him back over the military again and send him back out, hoping that every time he go out, he wasn't going to come back. Hoping that he was going to die every time he went out there. But every time he came back victorious. See, no matter how many people are against you, when God is for you, nobody can do nothing. You understand? So you can do all what you want to do. You can say all you want to say, but it won't prosper. And I'm going to tell you, be careful. Because if you come up against a man or woman of God, God will take care of you. It ain't always going to be pretty. So he brought Saul back in. Then he said, well, he keep coming back for more. He just good like that, you know, he was just good. So he kept coming back, so he couldn't do that. He said, so I'll tell you what, I'll give you my oldest daughter. So just when it's time, you know, he done got his mouth all wet, ready for the woman in there, he done married her off to somebody else. So he didn't get her. So then someone told him that the youngest one was in love with him. And all that pleased Saul. But you know why it pleased Saul? Because Saul saw that maybe I could trip him up with her. Yeah. I could use my daughter to get him. But she loved him. And he still couldn't do it. But this time, when they left, you know, David had to go through something because he was going to be king. See, I want you to understand, when you're going through something, God already got a plan for your life. So I'm going to tell you those very things that it looks like it's going to overtake you, can't overtake you because God has a plan for your life. So the troubles that you face, it's just only temporary. It can't last forever. So what did my brother say? I'm going to praise him anyhow. In the middle of it. There you go, my sister. In the middle. So you just got to praise him too. So let's add. See, what happens is when we get caught up in troubles and things start to weigh us down, we want praise. We want to throw in the towel. We want to quit. But there's no victory in quitting. There's no victory in quitting. You have to give God the praise in the house. Oh, my sister, she got talking and y'all was singing and I was like, they're going to mess me up in a minute and I won't even be able to pray. But y'all went that right, so I had to get on up here. So what I'm telling you, God knows his people. He knows what he has assigned you to do. David had not taken place as king. See, ain't it something how you had the one that was treating him the worst, is the one who he replaced? Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Come on now.
So, all David knew he was going to be king. His time just hadn't come yet. So he had to run a while. He had to take it a while. He even had to hide a while. But God had people in place. He positioned people in place where nothing could happen to him. This one would cover him. This one would hide him. So here it is. David now is king. Saul gone, David king. David honored the Lord. Now here it is. In spite of all that he was going through, David was a man after God's own heart. And the people respected him. And the people followed him. And David served as king for 40 years. And you know they gotta like you for that. Now during that time he was king, he had a son named Solomon. Now you know, David had some hiccups. Hadn't you?
Look at it.
But you gotta get up and keep on going. Yeah. See, when he had his son Solomon, because David was a man of war, he shed blood. He couldn't build a temple. David had the heart to build a temple for the Lord. You say, wait a minute, Sister Chadmon, why are you telling us all this? I'm going to show you because it's important. Amen. So, when David, he lived such an exemplified life that he influenced his son And so the Bible tells us that Solomon, he was the successor after his father. So Solomon, he became king. He inherited his father's wealth. He inherited his father's riches. And the people obeyed him also. Now, Solomon asked God. God said, what can I do for you, Solomon? Solomon asked for wisdom and he asked for knowledge. Do you know what? He didn't ask for no riches, none of that. But you know what the Lord said? Because you didn't ask me for any of that. Because that wasn't in your heart, I'm giving you that too. You see, what happens is, you got people now trying to get saved, what they say, want to be a preacher, get these positions and everything, because they said, then the money will come. Let me tell you something. Money don't come because you say you're a preacher. Money don't come because of that. You're blessed because you're obedient. And when you're obedient, God will bless you.
That's right.
Ain't nothing to do with that. Don't have nothing to do with that. If that was the case, nobody ever stepped down. If that was the case, I have a whole lot of money. God has got to be serving God.
That's right.
You got to have a servant's heart. And having a servant's heart, you got to have humility. And you know, have you ever had stuck-up servants? Have you seen the ones on the job, they trying to act like they're the boss when they're not? That happens. Do y'all know folks do that in church? I'm just saying, they do. I don't know anybody, but I'm just saying that they do.
Jesus.
David, okay, let me see. Solomon too served with excellence. Since God told him that he was going to let Solomon build the temple, y'all know, when you go into 2 Chronicles, chapter 1, and after he asked for wisdom and knowledge and God gave it to him, then he began to prepare himself to build the temple. And what I love so much about this wisdom that he had, he began to call all the leaders of their tribes together and have them all come. And I remember a reading where he had even written King Hiram of, I think it's pronounced Tyre, and he told him, send me your best skilled worker, the person that is skilled in iron and gold and silver and what was the other, blue yarn and crimson. I was like, man, this man knew everything. Give me the one that can do engraving. And I was like, man, that one man could do a whole bunch of stuff. And so, but then he told him, he said, send your people, and my people will work with your people. And he said, and I will send wheat, I will send barley, I will send oil, I will send wine. He was letting them know that I'm going to take care of your people. But I will tell you what you didn't see. And I want you to tell, I said, I gave it to you because I want you to go back and look at it. What he ended up doing was he said, we'll send them. He ended up giving them everything. He paid them before they even did the work. That's a true king. He was taking care of the people. He didn't just sit there in all his richness and didn't do anything for the people. He took care of the people. He even the Bible tells us about how he even did a census where there were foreigners in the land. They wasn't in there because they were slaves. They was in there because they loved the Lord. They came there and they wanted to be close to God. And because they did so, he began to do a census with them. And he even hired all of them. Put everybody to work. So NLB, see, brother, my pastor, let me tell you what happens. Everything that rests upon his shoulder isn't supposed to be everything on his shoulder and he do everything. It's not me, myself, and I pastor. No. He got to have some teachers. He got to have some singers. He got to have some worshipers. So David had that. He called everybody together. So after they built the temple, and it was in fine detail, and the Bible talked about how this had to be 20 cubits wide, and how this had to be 10 cubits high, and how it had to be layered in gold, how places, how on the outside is going to be the holy place, and then there's going to be a courtyard where the people are going to gather and they're going to worship. He said, but we're going to bring all this in because it will hold the presence of God. So we're going to bring all the offerings that we have. We're going to bring the burnt offerings. We're going to bring the fellowship offering. We're going to bring the fat. We're going to bring it all and we're going to lay it out before God. Because we're going to dedicate all this unto God. And the people came. And they said, before we do this, we got to bring the Ark of the Covenant back in. We're going to have to bring it back in so that it was going to be into the most holy of place. And so what happened when he began to bring all this in and they began to worship the Lord. It said that a cloud came. That the presence of God came among them and it rested upon them. Because they was doing the work of God. You see, what Solomon did was he did everything strategically so that you will see the plan that he had for God's house. It was in fine detail. See, we don't always understand how the blessings are in our details. See, what happens is, my sister, you didn't just get up on Sunday morning and say, we're going to throw some balloons up here. We're going to throw all this on the side. I know my sister, she made a sacrifice. She didn't even go to the meeting yesterday because she wanted to make sure that everything was together. And I mean, you had to have the right people in place to help get this whole occasion together because you wanted it to be a blessing unto God. Amen. Because God had called a man to serve, and he has already been serving in this capacity for 5 years. So you wanted it to be there. See, I wanted you to see that because I wanted you to understand that in the details there are blessings. In the details, it's showing your servanthood and serving with excellence. When you are serving with excellence, you know, you pay attention to details. I want to make sure this works. I want to make sure the mics work. I want to make sure that everything that I got going on work. Now, for a person that don't care, but we're going to just throw this thing together. The person that don't care, well, 5 or 6 balloons bust out there, so, well, you know, what they say up there? Happy with 1 P, but that's not what it says, sister. But what I'm telling you, you don't care. You won't proofread. You won't check and see what's happening. While I've been preaching, I seen that something fell down and my brother got right up and put it right back up. Because this occasion ain't over. You hear what I'm saying? Everybody is in here, but it ain't over. So when things ain't over, you're gonna make sure that you do everything you can in your service unto God. Now, you may serve God one way, somebody else may serve God another way. But if you serve Him with all your heart, you give Him the best of your service, I'm telling you, God will see the work that you do. And you'll be honored. Not doing it because so other folks can see, or doing it so that
that's right. Amen.
So that they can recognize my name in the bulletin.
Amen.
If that's so, then that's all your reward. You can take your bulletin home and put it up on the fridge with your name on it. But I'd rather have my name written in the book of life. I'd rather hear him say, well done, faithful servant. I'd rather hear him say, enter on in to the kingdom. You have fought a good fight. You have finished the course. You have kept the faith. I would rather hear him say that. Hallelujah. But then, after Solomon dedicated the place unto the Lord, and they worshiped, they prayed, and you know what Solomon did? He got before the people. And I'm going to tell you, he showed some humility here. See, everybody won't pray for their family. He got people that he's over, and he got out and he began to pray. And it's a little lengthy prayer, but I like it because the Lord answered that prayer. Because see, what happens is, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to hit it just a little bit, because in the 2nd Chronicles chapter 7, and where you know with scriptures where the Bible says, if my people. God was responding to Solomon. He was responding to what Solomon had prayed.
My God.
So we want to start here It's like, this is, okay, the people prayed that. No. God was responding to what Solomon had already prayed. And this is what he said. It said, "O Lord God of Israel, there is no God like thee in the heavens, nor in the earth, which keepeth covenant and showeth mercy unto thy servants that walk before thee with all their heart. Thou which hast kept with thy servant David my father that which thou hast promised him, and spake with thy mouth, and hast fulfilled it with thy hand, and it is this day." He said, "Now therefore, God of Israel, keep with thy servant David my father that which thou hast promised him, saying, There shall not fail thee a man in my sight to sit upon the throne of Israel. Yet so that thy children take heed to their way to walk in my law, as thou hast walked before." I'm going to skip down just a little bit more. "But will God in very deed dwell with men on earth? Behold, heaven and the heavens of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house which I have built?" And he began to pray even more, and I love how he did it, because then he said, "And if a man sin against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to make him swear, and the oath come before thy altar in this house, then hear thou from heaven, and do and judge thy servant, be requiting the wicked, by recompensing him way upon his own head, and by justifying the righteous, by giving him accordance to his righteousness. And if thy people Israel be put to the worst before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall return and confess thy name and pray and make supplications before thee in this house, then hear thou from heaven and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou gavest to them and to their fathers." He said, when the heaven is shut up and there is no rain, because they have sinned against thee, yet if they pray toward this place and confess thy name and turn from their sin, when thou doest afflict them, then hear thou from heaven and forgive the sin of thy servants and thy people Israel, which thou hast taught them the good way, wherein they should walk, and send rain upon thy land, which thou hast given unto thy people for an inheritance. If there be deer in the land, if there be pestilence, if there be blasting or mildew, locusts or caterpillars, if their enemies besiege them in the cities or their land, whatsoever sore or whatsoever sickness there be, then what prayer or supplication soever shall be made of any man or of all thy people Israel, when everyone shall know his own soul and his own grief, and shall spread forth his hand in this house, then hear thou from heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive and render unto every man according unto all his ways, whose heart thou knowest. And then he goes on and he begins to tell them about, and if thy people go out to war against their enemy by the way that thou shalt send them, and they pray unto thee toward this city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name, then hear from the heavens their prayer and their supplication. And then he goes on and he even begins to talk about the ones that were foreigners, the strangers, those that are coming to the land, and if they do something, if they sin against you, if they turn and pray, Lord, I want you to forgive them, Lord, I want you to help them, Lord, I want you to bring them through. Then the Bible tells us in that 7th chapter, now when Solomon had made an end of prayer, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offerings and the sacrifice, and the glory of the Lord filled the house, and the priests could not enter into the house of the Lord, because the glory of the Lord had filled the house. And you see, well, the presence of the Lord was there. And then as they go on, as the scripture continues to go down even further, then that's when it picks up at the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer, and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. You see, when somebody is praying for you, they are doing something that they don't have to do. See, we think that when we're covered like we are, that it's just an accident. You see, by my brother being the pastor, he prays for every last one of you. Not because he had to. But he wants to see you do better. And when I saw Solomon praying like he was praying, he wants the people to do better. And if they don't do better, he said, Lord, but if they go out there and do what they're not supposed to do, but if they turn back, forgive them, Lord. Bring him back to this place. And then he said, then after the Lord had told him that he had heard his prayer and chosen this place to be his house of sacrifice, then he began to answer. He said, if I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. He answered him. He didn't just say, I heard your prayer, but he let him know, not only did I hear your prayer, but this what you said about this right here, this is what I, your God, will do. I'm telling you, because my brothers and sisters, we are serving a God that hears us, that knows us, and he knows when we are half-stepping, when we are serving. But he wants us to serve with excellence. Ain't you worth it? I heard you sing about it. There is something about your name. Now, I hear you saying Jesus, so when I know when you feel about how good he is, then you know he has never forsaken you. You know he has never left you alone. He said he'll never do it. And he's sticking to his word. He'll do just what he said he'll do. And he's done it. And see, I took the time to share these details with you because I wanted you to hear what it's like when a person serves in excellence. The details matter. The effort it took in honoring God matters. People need to know that you don't serve a fly-by-night God. When you serve with excellence, it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with God. Your best for God. And not giving him your leftovers. All leftovers ain't good. Y'all done had some. Wasn't that good when you first cooked it, but when you got leftovers, but you don't want to throw it away, it's even worse. But don't give God what you have left. Give him your best.
Yes.
And I saw this song, and I'm going to close. If when you hear the best of your service, telling the world that the Savior has come, be not dismayed, but when men won't believe, he'll understand. And he'll say, well done. So then, when you come to the end of your journey, weary, I'm going to tell you, if you hold on and you'll hold out.
Amen.
Oh, he'll be there. He'll be there. I know what I'm talking about. I've had days when I had to cry. I've had days when I couldn't do nothing but trust God. And I'm going to tell you every day. Because when you begin to think on the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done for you, oh, I can tell you, he never fails. He never fails. So when y'all was singing a little earlier, I was kind of holding myself down, and God knows I wanted to give him all the praise that I had within me. Because I began to reminisce back when I didn't deserve his goodness. When I didn't deserve his greatness. But because of who he is, again. If you'll start, he'll do it again and again. He'll do it again.
Amen.
Just take a look at where you are now and where you have been. He will always come through for you. He's the same now as then. You may not know how, and you may not know when, but he'll do it again. Has he done it for you? You may not know how, and you may not know when, but he'll do